So Brittany and I were talking. Brittany's taking over for Smith today. She went to all of the concerts. So we were a little bit geeking out a little bit that Omarion is coming in today. I have to confess it. It's okay. I'm grown. I can own it. Let me welcome to the show, Omarion. Just one name. Welcome. Hey.
Peace. Thanks for having me.
Yes. All right. Dante's here. Lamont's here. I know they have a billion questions for you.
Yep. I too was geeking out.
We don't need your questions. I got this. All right. You know what's dope? Omarion has a book out. It's called Unbothered. And that seems to be like your vibe. You know, I mean, there's drama, but then you just seem to be like unbothered. I don't know. How did you arrive here? You got Michael Beckwith, you know, doing the forward. You got this sort of Zen thing happening. Did you go to Mecca? Like what got you here?
Well, you know, growing up in the public eye, as you guys know, growing up in front of the world, you know, is not an easy thing, you know, and I really attribute my foundation, my family, you know, the queens that I come from, you know, to maintaining the balance of self-awareness. And throughout my public stints and ups and downs, you know, Unbothered kind of gave a posture to an attitude that I feel like I've carried my whole life. Being unbothered is about emotional intelligence. You know, emotional intelligence is something that, you know, I always say in our community is not spoken about enough. You know, being able to choose to respond to things instead of react is a powerful thing. To give yourself space to reassure your journey, who you are, not stepping outside of that is a powerful thing. So I've arrived because of all of the things that I've been through, and seeing the power in that has been such a transforming thing to me. So I arrived basically just going through life things.
How much of this is a function of just maturing? You know, you're closer to 40 than you are to 30, right? Which is bugging me out because I was like, I remember when you were just a teenager. What is happening here? All of these years have gone. How much of that is a function of just becoming a man?
Probably, I want to say maybe 70%, you know, after having my kids at 30 and realizing like, it's not all about me, you know, and also, yeah, just maturing. I think maturity plays a big part in my perspective. So yeah, I would say like 70%.
Now, does the fact that you're now unbothered bothers anybody else who has not arrived at your peace, if you will?
Oh yeah, you know, announcing, being unbothered, being dubbed by the fans has, you know, put me in a kind of light where people want to test that, you know, but I always like to express that, you know, being unbothered is not about, you know, just brushing things off. Being unbothered is about acknowledging how you feel, and then taking a step back to, you know, see, you know, how that can serve you or not serve you. So, yeah, people want to mess with me now. They say, "Oh, you unbothered," or
I'm gonna show you. Oh, let me ask you something, because it's something that Karen and I talk about all the time. It's like the pursuit of greatness is always something that you pursue this level of greatness and this level of expertise, and then when you turn around, you realize how lonely that is. So, you know, when you think, okay, who was Bruce Lee's best friend? Nobody knows. Who was Michael Jordan's best friend? Nobody knows. Who was Malcolm X's best friend? Because
Ahmad Rashad, we know that he was best friend.
Nah, I mean,
all right, go ahead. Carry on. We get your point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that pursuit of greatness, it kind of, even though there's people who you deal with, they're so busy doing their own thing that it becomes a really lonely place. Could you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, through my journey, you know, coming from such a close-knit family and having that support system has not only helped me, but also has made me reflective about the importance of self-love. And, you know, this book, Unbothered, is is truly a tool, not just for people that read it, but for myself, you know, a remembrance for myself. You know, I'll never forget when after I had my second child, on May, you know, things were really, really shifting, and I ended up being alone in this big old house. And that was the time in the moment that I really saw how important self-love is. So yeah, you know, the journey is sometimes lonely, but when the purpose and the intent is intact, you know, it's not a bad thing, you know, to be able to spend time with yourself as a man, to, you know, I speak about this in the book as well. You know, bike riding is something that I took up not too long ago that brought back a lot of childhood memories. And just, you know, going on, you know, I'm up to 55 miles. I think that's my longest ride. And to be able to just create peace for yourself makes this life experience a great one. You know, we came in this world alone. So, you know, you got to have self-love on this journey. Otherwise,
Amen.
you will feel lonely and you will feel, you know, not whole.
And you come off extremely chill, especially right now. Is there a strain of Cali weed that's playing any part role in this new phase? Is there an unbothered strain that you're working on? You know what I mean?
Cali weed.
It definitely needs to be one. No, you know, I attribute, you know, my daily practices to creating balance for myself, because I'm a pretty energetic person. You know, I might be chill now, but I do a lot of energetic things throughout the day. You know, dance being one, because I love to dance. You know, that is the expression of exuberance. I have a chapter in the book called Relationship with Rhythm. And it's so interesting how, you know, how we start our day is really, you know, either puts us on the path of a positive trajectory or on a negative trajectory. So I have built-in practices for myself that allow me to maintain my balance throughout the day, because as an entertainer, as in this business, as you know, it's like this all day, you know. So I have breath work that I speak about in the book. I have mantras that I share with myself to be able to just keep a, you know, a balanced thing.
Omarion is here. Omarion. Unbothered is the book, The Power of Choosing Joy. Go ahead, Dante.
What I was going to say is, it's what's interesting is that when you start out and you get so much success as a young artist, as a young performer, and then your validation comes from outward, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, something I always say is that you can't pick that up, because you know, like, validation is a saloon door. If you pick up the accolades, you also have to pick up the critiques. So when everybody thinks you're great, you're amazing, and when everybody thinks you ain't shit, you ain't shit. And so to kind of put it into the context of work, real work, and your own personal growth, you know, does that help you keep that balance?
Yeah, I mean, you have to take the good with the bad, you know. I mean, recently, you know what I'm saying, with some of the performances that I've done, you know, there's always going to be adverse things, you know, in the public, but you have to really, you know, tether yourself to intention. And it's always with my greatest intention to, you know, when I step into places or, you know, have conversations, to bring some value to the table. And like you said, it is a revolving door. So what you put out there, you know, is in essence what you get. So I'm never, you know, battling with outward validation, especially because social media is such a, you know, a breeding ground for that. You know, you get one like, and, you know, music has changed since, you know, I would say I'm one of the few artists that came from that analog transition into the digital era. So, you know, the goalpost has constantly changed for artists like myself. And in hindsight, it's a beautiful thing. You know, people that were born during my era, you know, I feel like when I was, you know, when I recognized how talented maybe some of the older artists that I was introduced to, Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, it's like when I got to enjoy them, they already had arrived, you know. And with my journey, I feel like, I get the opportunity to keep getting better, and that's something that I'm so happy with starting so young that has given me the ability to. It's like, oh, okay, I could continue to learn. I could continue to add things, to my repertoire, multi-hyphenated name like author.
Now, to your earlier point about being intentional. Now, you were at odds with some people really close to you, and y'all found a way to kind of bury that hatchet, go on tour, try to make some money. And in each city, y'all publicly did the whole apology move. Was that genuine from your standpoint, or was it something to do to kind of just keep the peace for that time?
Well, that experience, going back on tour, with my group, in which I started at, it was tough for me. There was a lot of factors. And one of the major factors was, what the work that I had did. A lot of the time on our journey, we look back at things. And for me, when I look back on that was like not a positive experience for me, but it, in essence, really created the foundation and the connection between all of the fans that I have to today, So I had to ask myself, is my emotions, is my ego, is how I feel, more important than this connection that I've created around the world. And essentially, throughout the ups and downs, there was moments where it felt authentic, and then it was moments that it wasn't, it was more about the business. But I was so happy to be able to kind of relive that and go back and look at my younger self and be like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I chose to honor my past. So for me, everything was authentic. Everything was, purposeful. And it's rough, you know what I mean? And, even still to this day, we all are on separate journeys, but how necessary are those things for our life? Those things that, kind of piss us off or, are not good, teach you so much, so I always see the lessons and the blessings, you know what I mean? And that's been my perspective.
As you write, joy is a choice. You could choose to be joyful. Unbothered is the book, The Power of Choosing Joy. Omarion is the author. Now he's an author / Grammy nominated artist / dancer. Hopefully you'll give up dance before you start looking like Genuine. But as long as he's joyful, I think we should be happy.
Bringing Genuine back. You hear me?
That's
bringing him back.
I love it. Yeah. My pony. I'm like, okay, all right.